What's happening, guys? It's 2020, and guess what? That means there are more games than ever hitting store shelves near you. I thought we would take some time to check out the most anticipated games of 2020, at least from my perspective. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into some games you can expect to be playing towards the end of the year, if not sooner. Hyperpunk 2077 is coming out on all of the major consoles, including Google Stadia as well as PC. This is the newest game from the Witcher 3 Wild Hunt creator CD Projekt Red, and it looks to be a pretty awesome experience with a dystopian future set in Night City, which is dominated by this criminal underbelly. Very cool for the synthwave fan in you. So if you are looking forward to this one, as many people are, then by all means you and Keanu Reeves can join the journey together when this one launches in just a couple of months. The past few years have not been good for Bethesda. First and foremost, Fallout 76 hit and missed when it tried to make some kind of online experience for the Fallout universe, but now we could be seeing a redemption arc with Doom Eternal. Of course, coming out in April of 2020, you can expect to see tons of ripping and tearing on Earth this time, as Doom Eternal follows up 2016's Doom reboot. Now, it is worth mentioning, in April it's coming out on the PS4, the Xbox One, Stadia, and PC. You can expect a Nintendo Switch release as well later on in the year, so get hyped for that. The success of Dying Light was somewhat of a surprise to a lot of people, including myself. Of course, the team that developed the game originally worked on Dead Island, and then whenever the team began to work on Dead Island 2, they said, no, we're gonna do our own thing, and it's a good thing they did, because Dying Light became a huge success, getting tons and tons of updates, tons of DLC, including a Battle Royale mode whenever that big trend swept the industry. Now, Dying Light 2 is taking things to the next level with deeper customization, a bigger open world, a more in-depth and intricate story. It's looking to be a fantastic release for 2020, and of course it's coming out on the PS4, the Xbox One, and the PC, and everybody is rumoring, yes, in fact, it is going to be coming to the next generation as well, but don't hold your breath on that one. Nothing is confirmed as of right now. It seems like ninja games have been all the rage lately. Of course, you have games like Nioh, and on top of that you have Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice winning Game of the Year last year, but now in 2020 we're getting something relatively new, although still that same kind of aesthetic, and that is Ghost of Tsushima, coming to us from Sucker Punch, a team that has long been dormant, which means they've been working on this one for quite some time. Now, personally, I'm excited about this one because instead of approaching the ninja kind of setup with Soulsborne combat, think of this game more of an Assassin's Creed. It very much so focuses on the action, but make no mistake, those tense sword battles, those are still completely and totally in the mix when it comes to the gameplay you are going to be experiencing. So if you want to get in on Ghost of Tsushima, this is a PS4 exclusive launching in 2020. With a brand new Xbox comes a brand new Halo, and as much as I hate to admit it, the deep Halo fan inside of me cannot wait to get my hands on Halo Infinite. I've been a lifelong fan of the franchise and cannot wait to dive in and see what's going on with Master Chief, since he has been pretty much dormant since 2015's Halo 5 Guardians, which was definitely not the best received game, definitely not the worst received, but Halo Infinite certainly has a large amount of hype surrounding it, and you can expect this one again in holiday of 2020. After going back through the story of Joel and Ellie by replaying The Last of Us in 2019, I can't help but add part 2 to my most anticipated games of 2020. Of course, the biggest thing about this game for me is the fact that there is so much storytelling left to do in the world of The Last of Us. Just imagine how many more people experienced the outbreak. I have to know what happened after the final scene of The Last of Us Part 1, I suppose, if you want to go about labeling it like that. But to see what goes on between Joel and Ellie, to see what happens in their lives, their world, and their story, that's something that I have to experience in 2020, and thankfully we are going to when it launches on the PS4 later this year. With the success of 2019's Resident Evil 2 remake, I think everybody pretty much expected some kind of Capcom remake to come later down the line, probably another Resident Evil, but who would have thought that it would be 1 year away? I certainly didn't, but I am glad that it's happening. In the same kind of way that Resident Evil 2 maintained a cult kind of classic status within the PlayStation community, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis has that exact same kind of setup, because tons and tons of people loved this one, maybe even more than Resident Evil 2, and after the hype from last year's game, I would say this one could be an even bigger release for the guys over at Capcom, and this is one to keep your eye on because it's coming very soon, in just a couple of weeks even, if you really want to break it down like that. Asymmetrical multiplayer games have gained a lot of prominence over the course of the past few years. Of course, the two that come to mind first and foremost are Dead by Daylight and Friday the 13th, the game. Of course, if you don't know the idea behind these games, one person plays as a monster or some kind of, enemy. The other people play as a team going up against the enemy. They go head to head to see who wins. That's pretty much the idea behind these experiences. Now, the team behind Friday the 13th, the game, is taking on another classic 80s franchise and that is Predator. One person plays as Predator, there's a team of people going up against Predator. That's pretty much all you need to know to get into the game. I'm very excited to see where this one goes. It is exclusive to the PlayStation 4 on console, which is kind of unfortunate, but at the same time, I'm just simply glad that it exists, and I cannot wait to get my hands on this one later on in the year. And finally, although I'm not sure if this counts as a release, I'm going to go ahead and bundle it in here because the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 are both launching in holiday of 2020. That's a very exciting sentence to say. To put it into perspective just how old the current generation of consoles is, I was a sophomore in high school working at McDonald's whenever the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 launched back in 2013. It has now been a total of 7 years. That is a very significant amount of time. As you can see, I've moved out, I've graduated from college. That's a lot of time for technology to advance, and that's pretty much why we are getting new consoles when we are, because the old ones, although they hold up well, they don't contain the technology to really push gaming to the next level. And the amount of realism, the amount of detail we're going to be getting from the next gen, it is absolutely mind-boggling to even dream of, and that's why I'm excited for the newest generation of consoles to launch later this year. Whether you're going for the Series X or the PlayStation 5, it's a good time to be getting into video games. But these are just my selection of the most anticipated games of 2020, or should I say most anticipated games and consoles, but regardless, let me know what yours are in the comment section down below. I would love to hear your thoughts and see what you guys are hyped up about for the next 12 months. But until next time, you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. I will talk to you soon, and peace.